Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ryan again, owner of Plumbing Heating Paramedics, and wanted to bring some tips of the day. Today's topic is going to be 5 furnace symptoms that customers typically ignore and you really shouldn't. And as I go through these topics, we are going to be discussing on each one of the symptoms what's really happening or potentially really happening, why it could potentially be dangerous to your home, and then some action steps and tips for you that you can check before you have to call a contractor like us out on these things. So symptom number 1 is my furnace is cycling on and off, and it's continuing to be an issue. What's really happening there in the industry, that's called short cycling. Where a furnace and potentially an air conditioner can do it too, is kicking on and off, back and forth. Obviously, that's extremely hard on the furnace, but talking a little bit about what that short cycling is caused from, a lot of times it has to do with air. We basically are not getting enough air. It could be a dirty filter. It could be a plugged evaporator coil on your air conditioner. And there's some different things that can be caused from short cycling. Another thing is your thermostat could be having some issues with it. And the why that kind of people ignore this is because typically when their furnace is short cycling, they still have heat within their home. So they still are getting heat, and like anything else, we kind of put it off until it actually fails or dies. It is your furnace telling you that there's a problem. So I would definitely keep an eye on that and look to get a professional contractor out. Why it could be dangerous is it can lead to overheating the heat exchanger. It heats it up very fast, and then it cools down and heats it up very fast. And over time, you can lead to some heat exchanger issues, such as cracking and different things that can happen there. It can also lead to that your energy bills will skyrocket because it's running a lot more and it's actually never really satisfying the thermostat. And I think the biggest thing to these videos is educating you guys as well, beyond heat exchanger issues, beyond high utility bills, is just trying to avoid those really pricey breakdowns. We just came off of an extremely cold weekend. We were running around the clock and had furnaces and no heats, more than we could honestly handle. So to try to avoid you being in a situation on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock and having us or a company like us out there, these are some things that you can do. Kind of the tip for this, if you're having this issue, the first thing I would recommend you doing is checking your furnace filter, making sure that there's no blockage or anything on your furnace filter. And that's probably one of the biggest calls that we get, is a dirty filter or a plugged up dirty filter, and that causes a lot of issues within the system. You have to understand that a furnace can only blow out of the blower motor what's coming in. And I joke around with people, it's kind of like saying your furnace filter is like your nose and mouth. It's bringing the air in. And if you plug up your nostrils and try to breathe, it makes it hard. So your furnace is feeling the same thing with a dirty filter. So that would be the number one thing that I would recommend checking if your furnace is kicking on, off, short cycling. And then obviously if it persists past that and you've changed the filter, definitely get a professional out there before there's further damage or anything happens. So that is the symptom number 1. And symptom number 2 is cold spots within your home, rooms that maybe don't get as warm as you would like them to, or it's not even throughout your house. What's really typically happening in that is there's a ton of things that could cause this, but some of the things that you can check on your own, or obviously hire a professional to check for you if that's happening, is did a ductwork potentially get unhooked in your attic, in your basement, in your crawl space? Those are all areas that ductwork can run depending on the configuration of your furnace. But I would definitely check and see if any of your ductwork has been unhooked or fallen apart. and causing some issues in those colder spots in the winter in your home. And basically just uneven temperatures throughout your house. One of the other things is you could have the beginning to a blower motor. A blower motor's in your furnace, and that's what spins and blows the air throughout your house. If that motor starts to get weak, it can actually cause some issues without being able to blow the air as far as it used to down your trunk line and your ductwork system. It could also be, probably not as common, but it could be that your furnace is truly just undersized for the home, and that would be something that I would really recommend doing that. So I think a lot of people tend to live with these issues. There's also some tips that you can do by turning your fan on the thermostat. There's a fan, and it typically is off, on, or auto. Auto means that the fan will only run when it calls for heating or cooling, and on means that the fan will continuously run even when it's not calling for heat or cooling. And we find that can help balance out a home and make some rooms, especially upstairs, 2-story homes, thermostats on the main level, second story is always a little colder in the winter, warmer in the summer. It can cause some issues there. So by keeping that fan on, you can circulate that air throughout the house, making it much more comfortable. So I would also recommend really checking out one of the big things, if you're noticing that, is a lot of people we've seen over the years, they buy a new couch, they get some new furniture, and they've covered up a vent. Vents, obviously, in your house need to all be open to make sure we're getting that air out of the house. So check your vents, make sure everything is completely uncovered and nothing is blocking them. And then obviously check your ductwork and check that. And if that persists or you don't want to check those things, obviously a company like us can come out and we can do that for you. But the whole purpose to these videos is to educate you on some things that you can check first before having to pay a company like ours to come out. So hopefully symptom number 2 helps. Symptom number 3, my furnace is making some strange noises, some banging and some grinding. One of the biggest things that we would recommend immediately if you hear any strange noises like that, squealing, squeaking, grinding, is to just turn the furnace to the off position and call a contractor out, because something is definitely going on with that system. It could be a various thing. It could be a loose part. Could be a blower wheel itself, which is the wheel that spins inside of your furnace. Could be a bad blower motor. Could be some ignition issues, and definitely something that your furnace is trying to tell you that there's an issue with your system overall. A lot of people will put this stuff off because the furnace, even though it's grinding or making some strange noises, it is still heating within their home, and definitely would not put that off. It'll just continue to get worse, and the system's just going to fail at that point, more than likely. So definitely would recommend getting us out, do a safety check on it, making sure that nothing is a major issue with a mechanical failure such as the blower motors or anything else. One of the tips you can do if you hear some grinding or some strange noises coming from your furnace, you can always record that and send it over to a company like ours. Almost every company has a service, I know we do, where a customer can email in a picture or a video. That way the tech can kind of take a look at it and see if it's something. So that would be the tip I would recommend for a homeowner to do, to at least find the right contractor to come out. And then once again, I would schedule a professional to come out and check that out. So that is symptom number 3. Symptom number 4. You smell something odd or something weird when your heat is running or your furnace is running within your home. There's a couple things to this. If it's early in the season and you haven't really ran your furnace much and you kick it on for the first time or the first couple days, a lot of times dust will adhere to the heat exchanger inside. some of the duct work and inside the furnace. That can be very normal. The heat is just kicking on and it's burning that off. So if it smells kind of musty, that's probably fairly normal. Obviously, if it smells like a burning smell or anything else, definitely would recommend getting a contractor out there to check that out. If it's a burning dust, once again, that's normal, especially at the beginning of the season when you're first kicking it on. If it's a burnt electrical smell, there's probably something more going on. Either a motor is about to burn up or has burned up. There's some wiring or shortage potentially. So once again, more reason why you would want to get a professional contractor out. Obviously, if you smell any gas or anything that smells odd, if you have a home with gas, that could definitely be a gas leak. Could be caused from the heat exchanger, could be caused from the gas valve. There's various things, but once again, get a professional out if you smell anything to do with gas. And the musty smell, that could just be that you need a good ductwork cleaning. Could mean that there's some potential mold. I'm not a big mold guy and a scare tactic guy with that, but it could be that. So maybe have an inspection of your ductwork done. We do duct cleaning here in central Indiana, and we can help you with that. But if you're in some other part of the country, I wouldn't worry about the musty smell as much. If you're on a crawl space, there could potentially be some ductwork unhooked in your crawl space, pulling that air from the musty crawl space. So that could be something that you could personally check out too. But really, if there's anything that smells like burning or any hot smells or anything like that, really in that situation, I'd recommend getting a professional contractor out there to see what is going on. That is symptom number 4. And last is symptom number 5. My house is starting to have higher utility bills, and it doesn't feel warmer. If your home is getting you higher utility bills, typically this means that your furnace is trying to tell you something. What could possibly be going on or happening is that some components in your furnace are starting to become worn and older. You could have dirty burners. You could have a clogged filter. Once again, to those components, you have a failing blower motor. Once again, it could also just mean that the furnace is getting towards the end of its life. One of the biggest reasons why it's important to keep your maintenance up and have a contractor like us out a couple times a year to check your system out. All that is to avoid costly breakdowns. If a contractor is actually doing it the way we do it and doing it right. It can continue to raise those bills slowly, so it's often kind of not noticed. People are busy in their normal lives and they don't sit there and pay attention to their furnace. So if you start to see those bills are rising, those could be some things that you would want to have it checked out. But it's really kind of more of the first sign that your furnace is maybe getting to the point of potentially looking to replace it. One of the tips that I would recommend if you're kind of seeing that your energy bills are rising, track them, look at prior year. How does that compare? Last January, my house cost $120 for the gas bill, and now it's at $250. So it could be a colder January than last year, so that's not always a perfect thing, but it is something you can do is kind of track that. And then more importantly, get a tune-up on it. Just have a contractor that you trust come out and see what you can do by getting it tuned up, have the burners checked, the blower, check the capacitor, all those things to avoid a costly repair. Once again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the 5 tips and mainly the 5 symptoms of why you have a furnace that could be telling you something. But just try to keep an eye on it. The whole purpose to this video is to give you guys some tips at home that you can try without contacting a contractor and paying money. But a lot of the things, as you can see, do resort back into getting a professional involved like us. So hopefully these tips helped you. I will continue to post videos on things that can save you money and time at your home. and avoid mainly the costly repairs and after hours charges and all those different things. So if you like these videos, make sure you click subscribe, follow along, and I will continue to post videos and give you guys educational information that can help you at your home. I appreciate you tuning in, and more videos to follow. Thanks.